Welcome to the Tournament of Stitches 2026. This is the Netflix and Chill play number 3 video. Let's go. Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Marley Bird, your By Crafty bestie, and I'm super excited to dive in to video number 3 for play number 3 of the Netflix and Chill. As you know, this is a free pattern over at marleybird.com, and it does have a VIP upgrade where you have an option of choosing the smooth jazz concentration level or the be quiet concentration level or the Netflix and Chill, and mix and matching all of those to create a truly unique shawl. If you want more information about this pattern and the VIP upgrade, make sure you click that link that's in the video description box below. I've also added the link to the first comment of the comment thread so you can get all the information that you need right there. At this point, you should have completed your plays number 1 and your play number 2 because you cannot move forward with play number 3 until you have completed those. Now, as we are going through this video, you will notice that I'm in a different location, and that's because I want to make sure that we are taking a look at the chart as it's presented in Stitch Fiddle, because I want to give you some words of wisdom and some tips and some cautionary tales for this particular play this week. So go ahead, get your thinking cap on, grab that pattern and your homework, join me back here, and let's take a look at play number 3. And welcome to play number 3. Okay, everybody, so far for this Netflix and Chill, we have created some lovely texture and some horizontal stripes going on down here with some garter stitch ridges, right? And then for play number 2, we messed around with some really great reverse stockinette boxes that were going on here, and we got some vertical sections happening. As we move into play number 3, this one is really all about the texture. It's a lot of knits and purls that are worked together throughout the row to create the texture. Now, I know it's a little bit tricky to see here, and hopefully you can kind of follow along with me, but you can see that there is this stockinette stitch diamond right there with a reverse stockinette stitch, sort of like square or dot right in the middle of it, right? And then down here, it's a bunch of reverse stockinette little boxes that create a lot of texture, and they are also creating mini diamonds on the outside of this larger diamond. So the entire row is made up of these diamonds right down the center with all of this texture done with the knits and purls throughout. The great thing is you are just using knits and purls. The tricky thing is you really have to keep track of what row you're on so that way you don't get off track, because this is not one of those patterns that you can quickly and easily look at and be like, oh, I know exactly where I am. You really have to follow along with the pattern on this one. So unlike week 1 and 2 for the Netflix and Chill, where you really could look at the pattern just a little bit and then kind of coast on for a couple rows and then go back to the pattern and coast on for a couple rows, this one is going to require you to have that pattern next to you for all of the rows, okay? You will be able to look at the pattern and you'll see that it's maybe a knit 2 and a purl 6, or a purl 6 and a knit 2 throughout the entire row until you get to your increases or until you get to your markers. That part's pretty easy as you're working down the row, okay? But you won't know that until you actually look at your pattern, and each row is different. So you're really gonna have to pay attention. So I would honestly say that this particular play is sort of like a concentration level between smooth jazz and Netflix. It's definitely not a full-on smooth jazz, and it's definitely not a full-on Netflix. It's sort of like right in between there. We're really stepping up your game a little bit with this week's play, and it's because of all of that texture and the way those the reverse stockinette boxes are kind of move around. There is a pattern to it, but it's not an easy pattern to just like pick up the rhythm of. You have to look at each row. So you definitely want to have that pattern in front of you. You want to have that chart in front of you, and you want to keep track of the row that you are on. This is where I tell you that your lifeline is going to be very valuable. Just like last time, I want you to start off your play by adding your lifeline to your work. So just as you did before you began play number 2, you will add a lifeline before you begin play number 3, and then you will continue on with play number 3. And if you feel that you need to add a lifeline as you go through play number 3, that is always encouraged. You want to make sure that you always have a safe spot to rip back to. Okay. Now, the good news is we are just doing knits and purls. There's nothing new to this. And we're doing knits and purls within the same row, which we talked about in play number 2. And if you've done one of the other plays, if you're part of the VIP, you know how to knit and purl. So there's nothing new there, but the amount of knits and purls in the row is going to look really overwhelming when you look at the chart. But like I said, as you're reading the instructions, you'll notice that the repeat is really simple. Sometimes it's a knit 1, purl 11 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it gets pretty easy, but you do have to pay attention to where you are. Hopefully I've not scared you with that, but as you look at this over here, I hope you can see that the texture is really quite beautiful, and it's going to be crunched up a little bit as you are working on it. I did steam block this a little bit so that way I could show you the best I could with the texture. I wanted to make sure it was flattened out so that you could see, but it just looks really gorgeous as you are working along and you get like to the middle section here. And then as you're working along and you can see this side of your piece. Okay. Now, last week I did mention to you that I switched to a 60-inch long cord. And as I was knitting this, you know, I had quite a bit of cord as I was knitting. I would have it like this, but when you're going to lay it out flat, it eats up the whole cord at this point. Should you change to a longer needle? If you have one and you want to, you could. I'm not. This is the needle size I'm going to stick with. I'm comfortable with this. As we get going, you're definitely going to see that you could smooth out one side of your shawl to get a good look, and then you could smooth out the other side to get a good look, but it's no longer going to just be flat the whole way around unless you do get a longer cord. You will also notice I did keep my lifeline in from the previous row. I keep those all in until I'm done with the whole thing. It's just a safety thing for me. I like to do that. So I definitely want to make sure I keep that in. And as always, we are still keeping our increases at our wingspan and our center spine. Those are all the same. So nothing there changes. We're simply changing our stitch pattern in here. Okay. Now, having said all of that, I do want to take a quick look at Stitch Fiddle so that we can take a look at these rows and pay attention to key points in the pattern. Okay. Okay, friends, welcome to Stitch Fiddle. This is the condensed version of the chart for play number 3. Now, if you've been following the charts, you know that you're going to read these charts from right to left on the right side and left to right on the wrong side. And you understand that the white squares are knits and the dots are purls as they're presented on the right side. Now, the first thing I want to point out here is that I went ahead and I made the purl dot squares a different color. That is not telling you to change colors. That's purely making it easier for me to see what the pattern looks like on this chart. Making those the yellow square with the dot allowed me to see, oh, those are the squares. That's the texture I'm getting on this pattern. If I didn't have that, let me just show you what it looks like if I didn't have that. I find this really hard to look at. Like my brain, I can't seem to make out the pattern. But when I have it to where I have the yellow as the color, it allows me to see that pattern much better. Okay, so this is not telling you to change colors. The yellow is there purely to help you for ease of reading the chart. Now, when it comes to reading the chart, I can look at this and yes, it looks very confusing. You could sit here and be like, this is not a Netflix and chill. And what I want to tell you is it really is. I promise you it really is, especially, which sounds counterintuitive, in these sections down here where there's a whole lots of knits and purls going, and same up here. The only place it gets a little bit tricky, just because it's different, is in these sections where you have big swaths of, lots of knits or lots of purls. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. So I'm going to use the progress tracker just so that we can highlight one row at a time. So we are looking at row number 107. It's a right side row. That's the row you're going to start on. And we know that we will start off with our knit 2, slip our marker, and then you will knit 1. Okay, so we have 1 knit there. We come across, we skip all those gray, right? Because those are non-stitches. Those are just taking up space there. And we come to the red line. That red line is your indication that that is the start of your repeat. Okay, this is your repeat. So your repeat here is a purl 2, right? Those are 2 purls. So purl 2, knit 6. Purl 2, knit 6. And then you repeat that until you get down to the last 3 stitches. Well, that's not hard to remember, right? You can be like, oh, all right, well, now I'll just purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, knit 6. You just keep doing that, right? Purl 2, knit 6 till you get to the last 3 stitches before your marker. It'll be purl 2, knit 1, slip your marker, knit 1, slip your marker, and then you come over here, right? And then right here, we're at knit 1, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2. And you do that all the way down to the last stitch. You'll knit 1, slip your marker, knit 2. That is easy to remember. The whole idea of this purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, knit 6, that's easy to remember along the row. So that's what makes this the Netflix and chill, is that, oh, okay, that's an easy repeat. I can do that. And then as we move on to row 108, you can see as we get to 108, we start off with our knit 2, right? Because as if they're showing as purls on your chart and we're on a wrong side, that means they're knits. So we start off with knit 2, work our increase, that's our wingspan increase. And then right here we have knit 2, purl 6. So it's just the opposite. Knit 2, purl 6, knit 2, purl 6 to the last, 4 stitches, knit 2, purl 1, and then work, I'm sorry, that was the last 3 stitches. I'm sorry. Knit 2, purl 1, and then you have your increase here between the center marker, and then you're over here to the other side, right? So again, it just knits and purls. Same thing when we get to 109. 109 is even easier because you start off, you have your knit 2, slip your marker, knit 1, purl 1, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, all the way down. Same thing with 110, right? Knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. And then you get up here to 111 and we're back to the 2 and 6, 2 and 6, right? So you see how, like, knowing what row you're on, you can easily memorize what your repeat is in that row, right? You can easily memorize what your repeat is in that row. And like I said, as you get up here to row 121 through, what row is that? 128. That's where things get a little bit different because you can see that's where we're creating that larger stockinette stitch diamond area. But I truly, truly, truly believe as long as you can keep track of where you are in your pattern, you are not going to struggle with this. Now, I will tell you, reading your fabric to know where you are is going to be tricky because you're moving all the time. So that will be tricky. So really keep track of where you are. For me, I printed off the pattern, and every time I finished a row, I put a red dot right next to the row. So that way I was like, okay, I finished that row. And I did that because I forgot to print out my row by row check sheet. So I didn't have my row by row check sheet, which is available with the VIP upgrade. So that's how I kept track of where I was, on top of using my progress tracker on my stitch fiddle, because I put it on my iPad. And so I keep track of where I am there. But if you do that, you will be able to complete this play. And it's not a whole lot of rows. Like it's not that many rows for this play. It's just a lot of stitches and it's a lot of knits and purls. So you really do have to pay attention in that aspect. I hope that makes a lot of sense for you. But other than that, you should be able to work up this play and get this beautiful textured stitch here. If you find that you are messing up quite a bit and you are just like, I'm really struggling with this, I would highly suggest just put it down. Put it down, let it rest for the night, and pick it up the next day. It could be that you just need a little bit of a rest because it's just been a long day, and that's totally fine. Okay. Now, having said all of that, we have reached the halftime of our tournament of stitches, and that means you get an extra week for this play. So it's giving everybody a chance to catch up if you had to take a break. Plus, it's Easter weekend, so we are giving you an extra week. So next Tuesday, there will not be a play. The following Tuesday will be the next play. So you get 2 weeks to complete this play or to catch up or to have fun with it. It's your little halftime here in the Tournament of Stitches. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it and just really enjoy the process. Don't forget to add that lifeline. I already threaded my needle here with my cotton yarn so that way I can add the lifeline to my project before I move on to my play number 4, because I'm ready for that to show you guys next. But until next time, everybody, don't forget to join us in the Marley's Minions group. Ask your questions, share your progress, and encourage others. We'd love to see it over there. I'm having such a blast teaching you guys this. I hope you are as well. Share your progress with us on Instagram. Use hashtag TOS2026 or tag me. I'm the Marley Bird over on Instagram. All right, everybody, I will catch you soon. Bye.